Good evening, listening and viewing audience. Thank you for joining us here today for Charles E. Bibb, Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop video podcast. Today is Wednesday, May 31st, the last day of May. And my name is Candace Jones, and I would like to thank you all for joining us. I want to share some information with you. First of all, before we get into the introductions, we have a lot of great information that we're going to share here today. So hold on to your seats. Be tuned in for the full podcast because you don't want to miss anything at all. I'm going to share some things with you about free for SNAP, how to get in free, how to stay for free, and it's just free all around. You get access to various different verticals. And now we're going to get to our regular introduction with Reverend Fair, and he'll introduce our guest host for the day. And I'll turn it over to Reverend Ben Fair.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay, yes. People get ready, for the train is coming. Don't need no baggage, just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready video podcast with the political guru, the legendary Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop. Today, we have some great news for you today. We have some hot breaking news for you today. And we have Mr. Bibbs himself to bring to you and introduce to you our guests and our host for today's podcast, People Get Ready video podcast. Hear himself in person, live and in person, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr., all the way from East Cleveland, Ohio. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Fair. Miss Candace Jones missed her turn again. She thought she was ready to sing that song.
Yeah.
She was ready, boy.
Nobody is ready for my voice.
And Reverend Ben Fair, you did an awesome job as usual with the song and the introduction. And you really told the audience we have news from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean. And they're going to be surprised with some of the news we have today.
Mm-hmm.
And some of it will be on Zoom, and some of it will be right here in person on the podcast. People Get Ready.
Yes.
And in a few minutes, I think we're going to move around a little bit while we're getting ourselves together. And you have one of your presentations that you're going to give.
Yes.
And I think I'll save that one for the Ohio State General Assembly for last.
All right.
We'll work on another one now. You got one ready for me? We'll take it at this point.
All right. We have a report, Mr. Bibbs, that's coming out of Florida. And let me share with you and our viewing audience and our host today. Florida bans Amanda Gorman's inauguration poem because it contains hate messages. Now, we're not saying that it contains hate messages. This is what the report is saying, Mr. Bibbs. Amanda Gorman's acclaimed poem, Hill We Climb, which was written for and performed at President Joe Biden's inaugural in 2021, has been banned from a Florida school, according to documents obtained by the Florida Freedom Read Project on Tuesday. A parent of a student at the public school Bob Graham Education Center in Miami-Dade County area complained about the poem and had it removed from the elementary section of the school's library. The Education Center teaches kindergartner through 8th grade. Addressing the controversy in a statement to CNN, Miami-Dade County Public School spokesman Elmore Logo said it was determined at the school that the hill we climb is better suited for middle school students, and it was shelved in the middle school section of the media center. The book remains available in the media center. However, while the school did not declare the book banned outright, Amanda pointed out that a school book ban is any section taken against a book that leaves access to a book restricted or diminished. So the school trying to avoid a little controversy by saying it was removed to a new section as in only ban a little. Well, we all know what they're really doing. This poem's removal from amid Florida's increasingly problematic legislature at the hands of Governor Ron DeSantis. The state law now requires that the approval of a books in classes and around any parent complaint about specific works ability to get them in front of a banding committee. Already, books focuses on LGBTQ issues, social justice, even math textbooks have been barred from schools. But yes, there does seem to be a particular focus on Black history and LGBTQ topics. So that's coming out of Florida, Mr. Bibb. You know about the controversy with the Florida governor, Mr. DeSantis, who's trying to ban Black history in the schools down there.
Right. And this is much larger than we thought. Most people are not aware that it was the First Lady, President Joe Biden's wife, who recommended Amanda Gordon do the speech at the inaugural, because she had heard her in person herself. And she said the world needs to hear her. Not just DC, not just Florida, not just the United States, because the presidential inaugural goes all over the world.
Yes.
And he recommended it. And they put her on there. That's the highest achievement that you could get. President of the United States happened to be the leader of the free world.
Yes.
Most powerful man on earth, because we're the most powerful country on earth, and he's the leader. And this little governor from Florida wants to be our president. Please don't call him Mr. His name is Governor.
Governor, yes.
Yeah, not Mr.
Yes.
DeSantis,
Yeah.
Governor DeSantis. That's good enough for him.
Yes.
And so we are seeing his true colors now. And we, Dr. Gann Jarvis.
Yes, sir.
This is the kind of thing that your civil rights group needs to speak out on. It is getting worse. And we later on in the program, we're gonna have another thing where African-American women are being attacked right here in Ohio now.
Yeah.
In the General Assembly. You have state reps pointing their fingers at African-American women when they're doing a report in session. But Reverend Ben Fair gonna bring that up a little late. Good report, Reverend Fair.
Yes,
And
sir.
we'll stay on this subject, DeSantis. The poll in the presidential primary, he's way down in the poll. So next Wednesday, Mike Shields is working with us. I need to have the report of what's happening in the presidential primary in terms of who's polling what, because I'm told there's going to be 2 or 3 more people coming in the campaign Republican primary this week. And then maybe just push him right on out.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
The race is getting wider, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be probably like it was the first time Trump was elected. I think in that race was 18 when they finished.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That 18 doctors. That's
Mhm.
right. Right. So
Too many.
that, and he won't be getting any dumb Trump votes. He can get somebody else votes. All right. Thank you. Good report, Reverend Ben Fair.
And can I make a comment about the National Council of Negro Women, which you made remarks to? We've had seminars online
Mhm.
about that issue.
Oh,
Yeah, so we're taking
Okay.
care, we're on it, on
Would you
task. with
bring us a report on that next week, Doc?
Uh,
What they did,
I'll
about
see if I
this?
can, okay,
because we want to put much on him as we can. He want everybody to know about it.
okay, maybe, okay,
We're not gonna have that.
yeah.
You-
they're
We
on it,
come
yeah.
too far. And while we're on that,
a cause
the-
worth fighting for.
Mhm.
Mhm.
let's say, Reverend,
I said it's a cause worth fighting for.
it is the cause, not a cause. It is the cause. African American women, that's what it's all about. Isn't that right, Doc?
Mhm. Mhm.
And we'll have a full report on that next week.
Okay.
Uh,
They've been doing,
and the
a-
rest of
they've been doing a series.
the rest of the groups have to come out. Because if you don't come out against it, they'll just repeat it.
Yes.
Mhm.
They'll be comfortable doing it. We got to make them uncomfortable. Thank you. Ms. Candace Jones has a business report for us. Would you bring it forward, Ms. Candace Jones?
So for those of you who are not aware, August 8th will be an election, a special election, Tuesday, August 8th. So in that election, there will be Ohio State Issue 1. And what that issue is it's to change. So for a constitutional amendment, right now, the way it states is that you need 50% plus 1 in order for that to pass, which is the majority. They want to make it so August 8th, that election, this issue will be to change it so that for a constitutional amendment, you'll need 60% for it to pass instead of the majority, 50% plus 1. Why this is important, that we need to vote no. The 50% plus 1 has been in place since the 1920s. That's the majority, and that's the fair way to vote to get a constitutional amendment to pass. So in the November 8th election, not November 8th, the November general election, there is a constitutional amendment for reproductive rights for women. So in the state of Ohio, that will be on the ballot in November. That is a constitutional amendment. If this issue on August 8th passes, changing it to 60%, that means that amendment in November for the women's reproductive rights will need that 60% to pass instead of the 50% what it needs now. That August 8th issue, if that passes, takes effect right away, which means that will be in effect for the November general election. There's 2 other things that come along with that Ohio Issue 1. Starting January 1st of 2024, for a constitutional amendment to pass, they will need signatures from all 88 counties in Ohio to even get it on the ballot. Right now, it's just half, 44, needing 5% of each county. If that issue went on August 8th passes, we would need 88 of the counties to have signatures. It will also take away the 10-day cure time. Right now, there's 10 days. If there's not enough signatures, that the group can go out and get additional signatures.
Mhm.
That will be taken away as of January 1st, 2024. So it's important that we vote no on this issue on August 8th, so that does not pass. So our challenge in our work that we need to do is get people out to vote. So this election is August 8th. Voter registration for that election ends on July 10th. July 11th is when early voting starts, and that's when the vote by mail ballots will be sent out to those that vote by mail. Also, in January for the state of Ohio, the election rules change. If you're voting in person or if you're voting early at the Board of Elections, you need a photo ID to vote, to give them to show proof your ID. If you vote by mail, you do not need a photo ID. You can just use your last four digits of your social security number. So I encourage those, if you do not have a photo ID to go vote in person, please vote by mail, but just vote no matter what. Just get out and vote. August 8th, vote no for Ohio issue 1. The sample ballots from the Board of Elections are not ready yet. So I couldn't get the sample ballot to see what the actual language will be, but that should be ready by next week. And I'll have it at that time. So the deadline for applications to send in to get your vote by mail is August 1st. But I'm telling everybody, submit your application now to get your vote by mail ballot. Even though they're going to start sending them out on July 11th, you can submit your application now and they'll have it on file. When they start sending them out, you'll get yours in that first batch that's sent out. Because you know how things have been in the mail lately, you don't want to get, behind and miss it in the mail. So please vote by mail. If you don't have a photo ID, if you do have a photo ID, please get out and vote any way that you can. Take a friend, take a neighbor, but everybody needs to get out and vote for this issue because it's very important that we keep that to a majority, 50% plus one.
Very good, very good. You did get the one concern I had. The effective date for this statewide initiative is immediately.
The effective date for, yes.
Okay.
The other two things, as far as the number of counties and the 10-day cure time, will take effect January 1st, 2024. But the 60% will take effect immediately.
Very good.
So, and also you can call down to the Board of Election to request the application for mail-in voting.
Yes, you can call the Board of Elections. Mhm.
Okay, my other concern is the date for registration closing. The date, do we have that yet?
Last day to register for vote is July the 10th for this
the-
August 8th election.
Right.
You can vote, you can register to vote online at the Board of Elections website. You can get registration cards at most libraries have them. You can, online is probably the best way to do it. Registration is over July the 10th.
In a city, East Cleveland, Doc,
Yes,
only
sir.
1/3 of the city get computers.
Mhm,
So they have to go to the library.
mhm. Okay.
Only 1/3.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can I make another comment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't have IDs and which started on April the 7th, 2023. Anyone from the age of 17 and up can go and get their ID. So you can't even use that for an excuse that I don't have any money to get an ID. The state of Ohio is giving them away free.
Right.
Just show up.
You have to go to,
What's the process?
The process is you have your birth certificate and social security card, and you can go anywhere, go to a BMV and get your ID.
Yeah.
If someone wants to have it renewed, the renewals are only $10 for 4 years or $19 for 8 years. And you get it in the same day. Because a lot of times our driver's license, now they mailing them to us.
right.
But according to the reports that they'll give it to you right then.
They'll
Right
give
on the
you,
spot.
they'll give you a paper document that's the same as your ID until you get in the mail.
Okay.
And Greater Cleveland, the birth certificate becomes a little problem because most people of age are not born in Cleveland. And that's what, when they made this rule in General Assembly,
Mhm.
that's where the cost comes in. have you tried getting a birth certificate from out of town?
Mhm.
Kind of costly. They know.
Yeah, each state has their own regulations as far as the cost and the process to go through and get your birth certificate. So there's an organization called Vote Riders that are helping people to get their birth certificates and or social security card if they need to get it for free. That's VOTERIDERS. They have a website and a number. I don't have that number with me right now, but they are willing to help people get their documents that they need to get their photo ID. They're willing to help to get those for free. But what I am encouraging people, if you don't have your photo ID, still go through the process to get it. But for this election on August the 8th, you may not get everything turned around and get everything you need by that point. Vote by mail. If you don't have a photo ID, vote by mail. Still work in your photo ID because that still will be needed in elections going forward. I also want to express that there is phone banking for anybody that wants to do phone banking or calls to registered voters and encouraging them to get out and vote and voting no for the issue 1. Please give me a call, 216-570-4738. The phone banking, I think, has started, and I'll connect you with the person that's taking the names. Pam Mason is taking the names. They just don't have the contact information. But if you're interested in doing phone banking, give me a call, 216-570-4738.
Very good. And one other thing before we move on, give us that name of the one to help you, that organization that will help you with the birth certificate costs.
They're called Vote Riders. And before the end of the podcast, I'll get the website and the phone number.
Are they located locally, or do we have a way of getting in touch with them?
It's a national organization. There's I think Bishop Minor has a group that he's putting together and getting stations throughout Cleveland to have people that will help them in the Cleveland area.
Okay, we want to have them on the podcast because November be coming too.
Right.
So if they miss August, we can use them in November. Thank you for that kindly good report. Thank you, Dr. Glenn Jarvis, for that support and never been fair. Now, Ms. Candace Jones,
Yes.
I understand we have our special guest coming back this week that could not be here live and in living color, but zoom her right on in. Introduce her again, please, to our audience to know.
We have Dr. Robin R. Simmons, who grew up in Warrensville Heights, Ohio, and graduated from Warrensville Heights High School. She attended a historical Black college, university, Alabama State University, and graduated magna cum laude with a BS in education. She attended Cambridge College, Boston, Massachusetts, and received her MA in school administration. Lastly, she attended Argosy University in Sarasota, Florida, and received her education specialist in curriculum K through 12 and an education doctorate in instructional leadership. Dr. Simmons has been in education for 24 years. She currently lives in Bedford, Ohio, and is an assistant principal in the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. She is also the executive director and founder of a nonprofit, Raising Our Kids, Inc., and president of the Metropolitan School Alliance of Black School Educators. In her spare time, which is rare, she loves spending time with her grandchildren, reading spiritual and self-help literature, enjoying listening to music, and eating good meals. And I'd like to welcome to the show Dr. Robin Simmons. Dr. Simmons, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me back.
Welcome.
Yes. How are everyone?
We're doing great.
Wonderful.
I know the last time that you were here, there was an event that was coming up on May 23rd, a Right to Read program. So if you could share with us how that went and the outcome and what are the next steps that's going to happen.
Yes, we had a right to read screening. There's a documentary out, just came out in March of 2023, and it's by Kareem Weaver. He's in the NAACP in Oakland, California. So we had the screening. We had a good turnout with the screening. We partnered with the Greater Cleveland Urban Film Festival, Fathers Initiative, Al Grimes, and the NAACP and the Urban League. So we all partner up to show this screening. And then we had a talk back afterwards. We had Dr. Tatiana Wells, Dr. Carmen Stewart, Merle Johnson, Ebony Donnelly, and Dr. Henry Pettigrew, the superintendent of Shaw High School, of the East Cleveland District. And I want to thank East Cleveland Superintendent, Dr. Henry Pettigrew. They hosted us, and if you have never been in that Shaw High School cafeteria, it is awesome. It really looks nice. So they even pop popcorn for us and everything. So we had a good screening. A lot of great information came out of it. We will be showing the screening throughout the year because we are building momentum. After the screening, there was a lot of people that were interested in joining some type of literacy advisory committee that we're going to establish at Metro CAPC. And with this advisory committee, we are going to start knocking on doors, making phone calls, things of that nature, to get the word out about the right to read is the greatest civil rights issue of our time, plus how we going to just kind of support the districts in finding the correct curriculum for our kids that will equal the success for them to learn how to read on their grade level. So it was a great event. You all missed it. It was great.
Okay, very good, very good. Concerns or questions?
So is there a platform or some type of work that's going to be going on? And if someone wants to get involved, what do they need to do?
The people that need to get involved need to join us and go on our website, join Metro CAPC, because you will get the newsletters and the next steps. Again, we're having our Juneteenth event, June 19th, at John F. Kennedy High School. And we're going to build more traction and more people to want to sign up to get involved. So after those two events, then we're going to gather the people together and start the strategic plan, because we can't do it alone and we should not do it alone. And there are great minds that have great ideas on how we can really get this through the state of Ohio and all kids, all school districts that teach kids of color the message.
Thank you. Thank you, Reverend. Ben Fair, concerns or questions?
Yes. Is there going to be a follow-up to the session that you all had at Shaw High School?
Yes, we are going to do like a recap of everyone's summary and suggestion, because they were great and they were very relevant and substantial. So again, that's through metrocapc.org. So we will have it.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
Dr. Gwen Jarvis, concerns or questions?
No, I don't have any concerns or questions at this time.
Say that
I'm
again,
glad you
Doc.
all had a nice event.
Say that again, Doc.
I don't have any. I don't have anything.
The engineer can't even believe that. I have a few, Simmons. I was trying to reach you, but we reached through spirit. Juneteenth, Saturday, the East Cleveland Public Library. We're doing 3 days. We call it Juneteenth extravaganza. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, the national holiday, which you know is the 3rd anniversary. And I do 100% African American. The other colors will take care of itself. Okay. I need to know, check your calendar and let Miss Candace Jones know if you're available. We're doing our event from 1:30 to 4:30 at the East Cleveland Public Library. And I will be meeting with the director of the library, CEO of the school district, East Cleveland, was with us last year. On 2 occasions, we had him work in the East Cleveland Library, and then we took him over to the big city of Cleveland and worked him over at the Martin Luther King Library. And I can visualize you and him working together because we're going to blow this one up this year. So we got to overcome small G Governor DeSantis. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So if you get that information to Ms. Candace Jones, we'll be in touch with you this evening. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Couple of questions. I heard you say you're gonna do door to door. When and where are you gonna do door to door?
Well, again, we're still gathering the momentum with our Juneteenth, and then that committee, because I do have someone over the committee. She's a literacy specialist, and she will be making those plans. So again, we're gonna do it very strategic.
I'm gonna read nice. Even as super. So I don't want to see the administration when the program starts, because we want everybody to be nice and safe. You with me?
Yes.
Okay. And I want to congratulate you on the job you did, bring that program to Shaw High School. And you had a chance to see we were the first school, doctor, to get all new schools. But the funny thing happened, Candace Jones, as we built the schools, the population of the school came down.
Mhm.
When we first started building new schools in East Cleveland, we had about 8,000. And now we're a little over 2,000.
Oh, my goodness.
In fact, the last school, Roselle, was never built. We didn't need it. With no kids to go to children. Dr. Jean Murray Craig
I was gonna
told
say
me
that.
don't use kids.
That's right. I was going to say that when you asked me.
Did you ever hear her say that?
Yes.
Okay, all
Yes.
right,
You
man.
never call them
She
kids.
said
You
children,
never say kids.
students in this
Yes.
case. Thank you, and look forward to working with you. And we're gonna do everything we can to get the word out about this program, because we need it now more than ever. I don't know if you and Dr. Gwen Jarvis read the latest report about Cleveland.
Mm-mm.
I got it right here. Cleveland is the worst.
It's coming up.
Oh, it was on.
Pay particular attention to this, because Dr. Jarvis, we already got #1 in a lot of areas. You know that, right?
Yes.
Like lead paint,
Mm-hmm.
like education. All right, on down the line, worst city in the United States for African American women.
You made one for.
Now they released another report yesterday. And after we hear from Mr. Panic, we're going to Detroit. Thank you. We'll be in touch with you. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I hope your Saturday got some time for us. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay, we're going to Detroit, Michigan now. Fasten your seatbelt. Fasten twice, them fair, because Dane Parker got heartbreaking news, and we ready for some heartbreaking news. So we got to get ready for that Super Saturday, July the 7th from 2:30 to 4:30. James Panicus, are you in the house? Mr. James Panicus Jr., Detroit, Michigan.
Can you hear me, Mr. Bibb?
Loud and clear.
All right, all right. Boy, we are excited. It is hot up here, inside and outside and on the airwaves. I mean, we got some exciting things going on with Aluva. I mean, we are breaking records right now. We are at 99% growth this month. I mean, we are listed as one of the fastest growing companies in the world today. Do you hear me, Mr. Bibb? In the world today. And I'm going to tell you, after you hosted that event in Cleveland a week ago, it just set the company on fire. Mr. Gavin Dixon cannot stop talking about it. You have a billionaire that can't stop talking about the event that you hosted in Cleveland and can't wait to come back. So I'm going to tell you, you guys did a phenomenal job, and you should be patting yourself on the back for that event and how you impressed that gentleman, Mr. Gavin Dixon. But let me tell everybody why Aluva is so excited. See, Aluva has done something that is very unique. They have mirrored the health and wellness industry with the hands-off hedge fund trading platform and the forex and crypto education industry together. So with those two things, they put verticals that people want and future verticals that are about to hit, before the summer's over, that is going to change the economic, stability in a lot of people's community, especially the Cleveland area. So right now, we have the gut microbiome industry. We have, the health and wellness industry, the hands-off hedge fund trading industry, and we're coming out with the fashion industry, but we're about to come out with the male and female libido industry. We're about to come out with the heart, the heart health industry. I mean, we got a lot of verticals that people are going to be able to get paid off of that is going to be exciting. But I'm going to tell you this piece, this hands-off hedge fund trading industry, this is going to be something powerful where people can actually take money, capitalize on a hedge fund that the average person usually takes $100 million to be able to get involved in, but you only need a few dollars to get involved with, and you can trade with the people and capitalize on a $8 billion a day hedge fund. Let the experts do the work for you. You don't need to know how to watch candlesticks. You don't need no stop losses, but you just need to know how to watch your money grow. And you can get a 2 to 20% return on your money monthly, and it compounds daily. That right there has everybody rushing to Aluva right now, Mr. Bibb. And because of that, everybody wants to come back to Cleveland and help Cleveland explode. So I'm going to tell you this, people need to get with you, because we have a gentleman, Mr. Robert Louis Dean Jr., who has made over $60 million in the marketing industry, along with Mr. Gavin Dixon, a billionaire. They're partnering up with Mr. Bibb, and they're looking for 100 people that want to make 6 figures by the end of the year, and they want to work with them and show them how to become successful. If that's you, get with Mr. Bibb, give him your information, and we're going to put you on the phone with one of those 2 gentlemen, and we're going to show you how to make that happen. And then we're going to show you how you can get a private VIP seat for that event that's coming up July 7th, and it's going to change you and your family's life. So I'm going to hand it back over to you, Mr. Bibb.
Before you hand it back over to me, just do a little light housekeeping. Spell the name of the company for us so that everybody know around the world how it's spelled.
All right, the company's name is Aluva, A-L-U-V-A. If you take the A off the front and you take the A off the back, you're left with love, with you in the middle. And the company says they're all about love and you. They want you to love you.
All right, thank you. Now, some people don't know who Mr. Delvin Dixon is. You tell him who he is.
Mr. Gavin Dixon is the owner and CEO of the company. Now he's a billionaire. He made most of his money with real estate. In fact, he made like $13 million by the age of 18, right after he graduated. He's made close to $1 billion in real estate, but he's also been master distributors of MLM companies. In fact, he created 2 health products for MLM companies that are still making money today for 2 separate other companies. But he comes from a medical background, families, and he studies medical grade products and different things of that nature because of the family members that all have medical backgrounds. And this gentleman, everything that he touches turns to gold. So
Very
he
good.
studies everything.
I'm gonna have to cut, but you have to tell us and our friend, because he has a lot of good friends here in the greater Cleveland area, who's the #1 producer in the company.
The #1 producer right now is a
last week.
young lady named Dorothy Cook. She's originally from Cleveland. She lives in Houston, Texas, but she is the #1 producer. And she was just in Cleveland and as she said, she felt like she was home again.
So what we have, Fair, is Robert Dean and James Panica Jr. went to the convention April 1st. We'll never forget that date. And when they got in the company, Dorothy Cook is the #1 producer in the world for the company. And they were all here for our event week before last. And I'm happy about that, even though Robert Dean took sick. How's Robert Dean doing, Mr. Panicus?
Oh, Robert Dean is doing
Yeah.
excellent. In fact, he's back 100%. He's actually doing a Zoom in about 20 minutes. He's going to be doing a Zoom, and he's ready to roll. He got his gym shoes on, and he's ready to run all the way to December to actually take Aluva to be the #1 company in the world.
Thank you very kindly. And we'll see you on Saturday, because we're going to have Channel Park jumping this coming Saturday as we catch Robert Dean live and in living color.
All right.
Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir.
come on with that bombshell you got. You know you bring us the hot breaking news every week.
All right. Which one? You want the one from Cleveland, or you want the one about the state lawmaker?
No, say them for last. I want that Cleveland.
Oh, okay. All right. We got the Cleveland one right here, Mr. Bibb. My report says that Cleveland is, let's see, let me pull it up. Yeah, got it right here. Says Cleveland is the worst city to raise a family. Sorry to bring you that bad news, Mr. Bibb. But Cleveland is the worst city to raise a family in. One survey says, if you live in Cleveland, you reside in the worst city in the United States to raise a family in. According to a new survey, Cleveland ranked last out of 182 U.S. cities that were surveyed for the best cities to raise a family in, with a total score of 34.65. According to a data analyst from Wallet Hub, the top U.S. city to raise a family in, the data analyst from Wallet Hub says that Fremont, you probably never heard this, Fremont, California, had a total score of 73.71. The 182 cities analyzed were comprised of 150 most populated cities in the United States, which Cleveland is one of, as well as at least 2 of the most populated cities in each state. Wallet Hub rankings apply to only the cities proper and excludes cities in the surrounding metro areas, which are your suburbs. According to the company, the cities were measured across 5 categories. 1, family fun. 2, health. 3, safety. 4, education. 5 is childcare. 6, affordability. And 7, social economics. Each category included even more specific criteria on varying weighted basis, including cost of living, walkability, violent crime rate, per capita, average commute time, ideal wealth, playgrounds per capita, air quality, percentage of families living in poverty, and more. In those 5 overall arching categories, Cleveland ranked 106 in family fun, 160 in health and safety, 167 in education and childcare, 168 in affordability, and 181st in social economics. So we have a little work to do here in Cleveland, Ms. Bibb.
Wrong adjective, Reverend. Wrong
Okay.
adjective. We don't have a little work to do. I have to go to the doctor to get the right adjective. What kind of work we get? I got to get the PhD to tell me what. I know it ain't living. What word should they be
No,
using, Doctor?
We have a lot of work to do.
A lot of work.
A lot of work to do.
To be the worst city in the whole United States is 350 million people in this country.
Yes,
And we don't know how many cities, and we the worst.
yes,
That's why I told Dr. Simmons we need help bad, quick,
Yeah.
yes,
because it all starts with education.
yes.
Is that right, Doctor?
Yes.
That's your
Yeah.
major, isn't it? Education?
No, that's not my major.
No, but you had to have
We
education
had to have
anyway.
education, and
Yeah.
I've taught in the Cleveland schools.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
one thing that's unique
Mhm.
about Cleveland.
Yeah.
It's the only school in the 611 school districts where they don't vote for the school board members.
Yeah.
611 school districts, Dr. Simmons, but it's against the law to vote for your school board member.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of work to do.
I like that word a
A
lot.
lot of work.
Reverend,
Yes.
wipe that little
I'm
lip
taking it-
out.
I'm gonna take it out.
You got to apologize.
Yeah.
Little.
Yeah.
Now, no one possible to look work out to be a number 1 in the country. That ain't a positive. You got the positive, a lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work.
In other words, we got to roll up our sleeves. We got to
Yes.
roll them up. All right. And speaking of rolling up your sleeves, Miss Candace Jones gonna help us for people who don't have any money get started.
Mhm.
Is that true, Mr. Jones?
That's true.
You mean she's giving out loans?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
No, Doc.
I'm gonna give you a
No,
way
no,
where you
that's
can
what-
make money, but
Yeah,
you can start off for
yeah.
free. So the
Okay.
the way that you can make money and you can start off with free is with Snap Partners. Snap Partners originally started in 2021 as a food delivery service from restaurants, and it helps restaurants out because it only charges $2 per delivery instead of the 20, 30, or 40% that other delivery services charge. So not only does it help a business out, a restaurant out, but it helps those customers that are ordering from the restaurant because Dr. Jarvis, if I register you as a customer with Snap Delivered and you get your link and everything, you order from whatever restaurants are there, you could share that with others. You can share that with Mr. Bibb or Reverend Fair. When you share it with them, every time that they order from a restaurant that's registered with Snap Delivered, you get paid out of that. You don't have to be there with them at the time they're doing it, just because they registered for free. It's free to be registered as a customer. It's free to be registered as a driver. You can be a driver for Snap Delivered and deliver the foods from the restaurants with Snap. You can even refer a restaurant with Snap Partners. If you refer a restaurant and they register, every delivery that comes out of that restaurant, you get paid on. And the average for restaurants is about 20 or 30 during the week. On the weekends, it's usually higher, but even some restaurants are even more than that. But you get paid on that. You don't have to be there at the time. It's all because you register that restaurant, and that restaurant registers for free. It's helping the restaurant out because they're not paying the high delivery costs, and it's helping you out because you're making money for that. And again, you registered for this for free, but you can make money with it. So in April of this year, SNAP Partners introduced 2 new verticals because their whole goal is to help make value for customers and people and the community and business as well. So 2 verticals that were introduced was SNAP Energy and SNAP Health. SNAP Energy is helping business out because as of June 1st of this year, the rates for utilities, gas and electric, are going to be going up, double or even more than that of the rates are going to be going up. So where SNAP Energy is helping out business customers is that it will help them find a lower rate for their commercial business. So it's starting out for commercial properties. Residential will be coming later in the year. So you contact the SNAP resource, or if you want to join SNAP for free, and you could connect with the SNAP Energy and find out the lowest rate that you can get for your commercial business. This, again, you're signing up and registering with SNAP for free. You are connected with a vertical that helps you lower your rates for your gas and electric bills. So that's helping the business out again, because if you look at the rates now, especially larger commercial properties, if they double or even more of the rates go up even more than that, you can imagine what their costs will be. So they would be beneficial for them to look at a lower rate. So SNAP Energy helps out with that. SNAP Health helps out because for those people who either don't have health insurance or maybe want to have health insurance and they want to look for a lower rate. Again, SNAP Health helps them look for a lower rate for their health insurance. And with the pandemic, when the pandemic came along, there were a lot of people that were added to Medicaid so that they would have some type of health insurance coverage. A lot of those people are going to be dropped from Medicaid, and they're going to need some type of insurance. So this is a great opportunity, again, to help people out to find a lower rate. And again, you're coming into this for free, but you get paid a commission off of all these different verticals that are available. So if you're interested in getting started with SNAP Partners, and again, you register with SNAP Partners for free, you can either contact me, Mr. Bibb, Reverend Fair. We can help you get connected. It's just a matter of we'll send you a link. You click on the link, you fill out the information, which is your name, your email address, phone number, you submit, and that's all there is to it. It's real simple to sign up and register, but yet it's a lot of benefits, not only for you, because you're making money by joining us for free, but you're helping others out as well.
Thank you, Ms. Candace Jones. Good report.
Thank you.
I was getting late and I got to get them fired up. Them Fair,
Yes, sir.
bring us that General Assembly State of Ohio news, would you?
Oh, yes, absolutely, Mr. Bibbs. Interesting news here. The Cleveland area state lawmaker recommended, after aggressive state house interaction with the constituent, the top Democrat in Ohio House has recommended a Cleveland area Democrat state legislator over his treatment of a local cosmetologist at the State House last week. House Minority Leader Allison Russo said Tuesday she has ordered State Rep Elliot Forehand of South Euclid to undergo implicit bias training and to meet with the cosmetologist LaDasha Wright and local community leaders. It is inappropriate for any member of this body to treat Ohioans with disrespect, Russo wrote to Wright in a Tuesday message, a copy of which Russo's office provided to Cleveland.com and Cleveland Plain Dealer. Though passions rise and tempers flare during legislative process, I expect Democratic members of the House to conduct themselves with civility, thoughtfulness, and respect for the people we serve. Representative Forehand fell short on that state standard in his reaction with you, and I am disappointed. Forehand meanwhile has publicly apologized, although Wright said she's not satisfied with the response. Wright had complained to Russo's office that she was the recipient of a violent, condescending, aggressive, fiery tyrant from Forehand after she spoke with him in a state house committee room last Tuesday about her opposition to a bill Forehand co-sponsored, Mr. Bibb, co-sponsored that would change how the cosmetology industry regulate in Ohio. Wright, who owns a salon in Cleveland Heights, said in an interview with Cleveland.com and Plain Dealer, the incident left her shaken and fearful and fearful of her safety. She called Russo's order for implicit bias training a band-aid solution. The behavior that he exhibited, if that would have been me as a Black woman, I guarantee you, 1, I would have gotten arrested, or 2, they would have sent me someone and said, you got to leave here and don't come back anymore. She said Wright had traveled to Columbus to testify against the bill, which would eliminate all training and education requirements that the persons must satisfy to regulate and to perform boutique services such as makeup, application, and hair braiding. Wright told members of the House Commerce and Labor Committee, the bill devalues the work that Black cosmetologists do with training they receive. The bill is opposed by the cosmetology industry, but its backers say it will move barriers to those who want to enter the market, particularly people for less advantaged backgrounds. All the bill co-sponsors are Republicans besides Forehand. Wright wrote in a letter to Russo office that after the committee meeting, the state representative Juanita Brennan of Cleveland introduced her to Forehand, who sits on a committee but had not been present for the hearing. While defending the bill, Wright Forehand yelled and snapped his fingers in Wright's face. She said Forehand posted an apology on Facebook page on Saturday. Reached by phone Tuesday, he said his statement would speak for itself. I am ashamed of my failure during my interaction with Miss Wright. I let my emotions get the best of me, Forehand wrote. As a result of the intensity of my communication, I disrespected and hurt Miss Wright, and the key part of the legislative process to make space for diverse voices and viewpoints. Miss Wright is justified in her feelings toward me. Given our interaction, I lost sight of my privilege and power as a white male lawmaker.
Hold it right there. We're running out of time, but we're going to start off with this report next week.
All right.
Is Mr. Mike Shields on the line? Mr. Mike Shields on the line?
I'm right here, Mr. Bibb. How you doing?
Right. Do you have the stats ready for me? For the district? Do you have the stats ready for the district?
I do not have them at this moment, Mr. Bibb.
That's good enough. That's good enough. All right.
But as you say, you continue.
Good enough. Good enough.
Yes, sir.
Next week won't start off the program with it, but we're gonna do the full amount of time we need. And I think you told me in that report that beauty shop is in your city.
Yes, Clinton Heights.
Find her. We want her on the program to tell us her side of the story. And Dr. Jarvis,
Yes, sir.
did you see what that state rep did? He
No.
apologized to you
Oh, oh,
on Facebook.
oh.
You know what Facebook is? Out there in
Yes.
space.
Yes.
Where does he, wait a minute, that's just not funny, Doc.
Okay.
This is serious business.
Yeah.
Where does he work?
He works for us.
No, he work at General Assembly.
Yeah, he
Ohio
works at
State.
General Assembly.
That's
Yeah.
where he got to apologize
Okay.
in the way of where he worked.
Oh, well, I
He
didn't.
get paid to do that.
Okay.
Not on Facebook. He didn't get paid to do Facebook.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
telling they took past me. How many minutes we got, Ms.
He works for
Campbell?
us.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. Thank you for watching, everybody. It's gonna be hotter than this next week. All right,
right.
thank you.
Thank you.
And everybody have a nice weekend.
Thank